Welcome to another edition of Electric Motorcycle News. This is a special edition I'm calling Skeptical Electrical because it's nothing but negative stuff. It's not just going to be about Damon, but that's how we're going to start because I woke up and I saw this. The stock market has frozen, well, not the stock market, but the Nasdaq has stopped trading Damon shares due to increased volatility. So that got me looking, what have they done now? I mean, obviously it's under penny stock status. It's down 99.11% year to date. Excuse me, my allergies are going crazy here. I'm trying my best. And so I got digging into it, and it turns out they're facing delisting. I mean, they're under a dollar. Once you under a dollar, you start facing delisting. But they have dilution concerns. So I was curious about that, and it looks like they have issued nearly 2.5 billion with a B, not million, 2.5 billion shares of Damon stock in this last quarter alone. It was under 500 million before that. It was, I forget, a couple hundred million. But what that means is, if you went into this year owning 10% of Damon, you were a major investor, you had millions of dollars in it. All of a sudden, your 10% share is now worth 2% or something. So this is a classic dilution scam. They basically took these people's money, and it's being issued to insiders and founders and stuff, probably. And I want to do a shocked Pikachu face, but obviously we all saw something like this coming. It's very similar to what Energica had happened to them. Ideanomics, who bought them out, they got the share price nice and high, and then over a matter of years, they diluted it with millions and millions of shares coming out. And they had excuses. They were using the shares to pay for other companies they're buying. And ultimately, they drove the share price down to nothing. And then the executives all kind of disappeared to private islands and stuff. And we kind of saw Damon say, "Hold my beer," and they did it in one quarter. They just said the scam's up. They got no factory. Why keep going with the scam here? But they did, for one final attempt to try and get people to give them a little more money, they started getting companies like Webull to start putting out like bulletins saying, "Hey, come and buy this great EV company. Look at extensive MotoGP race experience, and look at this great technology and this backlog of hundreds of millions of pre-orders and all this great tech. You're gonna be rich. Buy this stuff now while you can." And the pitch was kind of decent, because if it's a 2 or 5 penny stock and you put $1,000 into it, then it goes to a couple dollars when they start production in a year or two, whatever it's supposed to be. You could become a millionaire. So this was kind of like the YOLO pitches, I guess. And they bought off these, my opinion here, it looks like, they bought off a bunch of companies to put out press releases that were positive on them to try and get people to invest in it before they diluted it and, put the final nail in the coffin of this thing. And sadly, my videos have been covered for months now, my Damon videos, with people saying that they almost bought the company or almost bought shares in the company because of things like Webull telling them, "Hey, it's a renowned Italian design firm, they're whatever." That's a funny one too. They're subcontracting design of their bikes now to an Italian design firm, while they're also offering part of Damon 2.0. They're offering design services. Pick a lane. So they can't design their own bikes. They're outsourcing that, but at the same time, hey, we've got all these new revenue streams we've got lined up. So give us your money. Anyways, so Damon is finally crashing. They're getting the markets have stopped trading them. At least for now, it's paused because it's obviously a scam now. Like I've been saying for quite a long time, they finally just pulled the rug out from all the investors, and it's done. They have 3 billion outstanding shares nearly, and yeah, they speed ran this thing down to less than a penny, and I'm sure they're all sipping mojitos on an island somewhere with their private yachts and a bunch of scantily clad ladies. So, yeah, Damon's done. They're not going to last the year. They're going to be delisted. Ideanomics fought the delisting for a long time. They wanted to keep that scam going because they had a more gradual, we're going to keep diluting it slowly over time and, give excuses for why they're doing it. Damon didn't even do that. They just said, "We're out. Give us the money." So I think we're going to see them delisted pretty soon here. It's a long process, and if you want to fight it, you can fight it. But with the dilution they just did here, I think they showed their cards and they're punching out. So they're going to be Damon Q in a few months here, which is like the third EV company that has a Q after its name, its symbol, now that I own. But continuing the negative news here, we have Harley-Davidson's Livewire, or I guess they separated themselves a while back because all the Harley dealerships were being forced to carry the bikes, but they didn't want to. So they said, we'll make them two separate things, and then most of the dealerships dropped them, which was incredibly sad, because the biggest thing that the Livewire had going for it was the fact that you could go to any Harley-Davidson dealership and get it worked on. They lost that when they, went Livewire and went their own separate ways. And now they're seeing 33 units sold in Q1. I mean, it's a tough year. People are cutting back on anything that's not a necessity. We're going to see, I think I called it last year, that next year was going to be a really tough year for electric motorcycles. It's not something that you can rationalize buying. They're still more expensive than their, gas counterparts. And, yeah, we're seeing that. It's tough times. And the good news is they only lost $20 million. They were losing a lot more than that in prior quarters. But they were targeting 1,000 to 1,500, I think it was, sales this year. And they're going to be lucky to break 100 if the economy doesn't do better here. And even if it does, I think people are still a little bit shaky and skeptical about what the next couple of years might bring based on the last few months we've seen. I'm not trying to be political, just saying it's going to be a tough sell to get people to throw in $20,000 for a commuter bike. So yeah. Also, Harley-Davidson said they're going to stop giving money to Livewire to support them. So they've got to sink or swim, and with sales like this, they're gonna sink. It's over. I hate to be negative. Not investment advice. Let me caveat that with everything I've said here. This is not advice on what to buy, shares, bikes or whatever. This is just my opinions and my crazy ramblings. So Harley-Davidson's Livewire is probably dead this year also. And then I found this interesting list of bankrupt or entering receivership list of their electric motorcycles. Arc, Cake, Saunders. I can't believe Cake. They're such a good brand. Saunders was huge too in the e-bike territory, and man, the Motorcycle, everyone was just going crazy about. I thought that was going to be, apparently Saunders himself he's a good engineer, but not a very good businessman, sadly. So Saunders is gone now. Fuel and Ubco, I've never really heard of them. And of course I skipped over my favorite one, which stabs me in the heart whenever I see it. Energica. They've been trying to find new owners for a while now because they were under Ideanomics. Ideanomics just squeezed them for all that they can, and so they've gone up for auction twice now, maybe 3 times, I forget, but it's not looking good. They're only asking for like $2.5 million. Like, instead of a fancy sports car, you could buy an electric motorcycle company, and they can't get someone to do that even. I mean, you do buy up all the future money you got to throw into it too, because you got to pay all the employees and you got to buy the parts and stuff. So that's just getting getting the hardware and everything in place with the patents and stuff. So they're gonna need someone with a pretty big wall to step in at some point here, but I don't think it's happening. And continuing with that, an email went out from Energica San Francisco, and it is a sort of a spring cleaning sale from headquarters out there. But reading into it, I think this might be them saying they're folding up shop, most likely. They're selling spare parts, they're selling dealer mats, fairings, suspensions, tires, wheels, anything you ever need for an Energica. If you've got one, or if you're about to buy a used one or something, reach out to them, get parts you think you might need. They're selling apparel also. It looks like they got, was it extra small all the way up to extra large? Where'd that go? But anything you want, they've got it over there right now at a good price, and I'm just scrolling around like a crazy person. I apologize. If you need any parts or anything, reach out to this number here. Parts, apparel, if you want memorabilia, if you want anything to remember this amazing company by. You can also email sbenetti@energicamotor.com. I'll put all this in the description below, and you can email them for a list of what they have in stock, with prices. I'm sorry I'm late. I took the scenic route. Sadly, it's a bad year for electric motorcycles. It's been a bad half decade, really, besides the fake ones that were pumping stocks and stuff. Can you imagine if even just a fraction of that money that went into Damon would just get channeled into Energica? Like, they'd be fine. They've got next gen bikes, I'm sure, ready to come out, but they don't have the money to do it. Anyways, that's my depressing Monday video for you all. Skeptical Electrical Volume 1, or Episode 1. Hopefully I've got, better electric motorcycle news in the future, but that's what I got. Hope your week is better than all these companies listed right here. And Harley Davidson. And anyone who put money into Damon. Serious money into Damon. But hey, that's all I got. Have a good one. Is it stopped? Why is it not stopped? Why are my bags so big on my eyes? I gotta get better sleep.